How are you, everybody? It's a pleasure to be speaking to humans. I speak 4 times a week, twice in English, and once in Yiddish, and once in Lashon Kodesh. When it's English, it's what the Elam comes. I have a set time. Sundays and Thursdays, everyone's invited from 8 to 9. We have room on the roof for the Ger Rebbe. It's taken away. Oh, it's taken away. I don't know if there's the Ger Rebbe, back in Ger, back in, in Europe. They say they had ropes swinging from the, it was the biggest Hasidus, at 100,000 Hasidim, they say. They had ropes hanging from the ceilings. And the Hasidim used to jump up on these ledges something and hold their rope. I don't know how it worked exactly, but it was Lebedik. Anyway, you're all invited, Rabbi Yitzhak. It's a pleasure to see you all. I want to thank Torah Anytime. I want to thank Kavash Kocha Pratis. I want to thank Kol HaLashon. I want to thank the Rabbeinu Shalom Achonach L'Chaviv. That's some Zach. That's right, I want to thank the Rabbeinu Shalom Achonach. I love Hashem. Came to a conclusion recently. I love Hashem. Rabbi Miller told people, go say it. Go say it. I love Hashem. Come on. Go say, I love Hashem. It's the healthiest thing in the world. And don't think Hashem doesn't like it. He likes to hear that. By the way, I encourage people to write stuff. Putting up beautiful stuff we have over here. Says Hashem Shvuros. It's half of a fella. A younger man here, it's mamish. If you have any trouble with Bizyanis, he'll fix you one day. We have a Lumdus weekly. We have here Ayin Tova weekly. It's not Shaykh. And I will tell you, the one that Lumdus weekly asked me if you want to get talking hotline. Have you ever heard of Rabbi Golombek? Get in touch with him. You know how many people he's saving? Not Shaykh. Lumdusweekly@gmail.com. If you want to get involved, it's Meridic. This guy puts out Lum. He's given every shul in like 100 shuls. He's going to have it this week. Push your stuff. Push it out. He's pushing it. Anyway, I encourage all my servants to put something out. Give a vad. Write a kuntris. And I'll tell you something. Become part of the call. Sit down alone with HaKadosh Baruch Hu and make a Seder Kavua with Hashem. And don't sit there for 5 minutes and say, okay, it's enough with him. Chas v'sholom. Halavai, you sit for 5 minutes alone with him. He said, it's plenty good. Rabbi Miller said, what's back there? How's that? It's great, no? Mifsim going on more and more. That Rebbe's Mifsim. You should know it's nothing like to be a Balgaivanik. It's the best thing in the world. I encourage everybody. Enter the Gaiva mode. Get into the mode. I own the world. Yeshovat Melech Yehuda. Vayigba liba betaki Hashem. It's a derech of Hashem. Way before Slabodke. Or Chasidus, whatever those Rizhin, whoever was into Gaiva. Way back. The Melech and Klal Yisrael. Vayigba liba betaki Hashem. I'm great. What do you think Yosef said? Nobody bigger than me. That's the way you talk. That's the way Yosef HaTzadik talks. How can you call him a tzaddik? Nowadays they kill him. Ooh, that's the way you talk. Well, I do this all the time. I say I'm Gavaldik. Anyway. Lamaisa brings good stuff. What? With Gaiva. And then it got him. That's the best way to go. You know who you are, then you move, you do things. Don't be afraid. Little Gaiva. You're supposed to use Yitzhar. Now, Yitzchak Avinu, Matamim Kitzayid Bepiv. He said to food, Hashem Yirachem. An Oila Tmima. An Oila, only the Mizbeach eats. You know, when you want to think of not eating, you think of a carbon oil. Carbon oil is the spitz. Selflessness. You're not eating. The kayin is echatos. At least the kayin gets a bite. So you don't. But he does a shlom. Now we're talking business. Everyone's eating. An oila means nothing. The mizbeach takes it all, and you're getting nothing. Yitzchak himself was one shtick oila. He was an oila tmima. And what do we know about him? There's not too much. He's from all the three of us, the least Reb Nosson Zatzal Bamek. He's the least, he doesn't. And the Vaila Matamim, we have to get, his wife says, go cook something. Matamim Asheru Ahiv. Get him his favorite dish. Do you hear that? A favorite dish. I think I'd be out of business. I'd be a Heintig Americana Rosh Yeshiva, and the Talmidim would find out that I have a favorite dish. They'd say, uh-oh, Ezarap Baderech. He's one of those. What is it, sushi? What are you doing here? Special favorite dish. That's no good. Yitzchak Avinu and Oila Tmima. And Rivka is an expert. Get him his favorite dish. And then he'll give you a bracha. What's going on? And why does he like Esav? Kitzayid b'fiv. He feeds him. Esav feed. Esav knows what Tati likes. So he loves Esav because he's good with the food business. What? Yaakov licked and Lanan. I'm not going to get involved in trying to answer this. By the way, don't expect the terrorists. I just want to be, then he's Matzachi Kamishta, you understand? Whoa! Hashem Yerachim. I don't know. You got it. You're welcome to, but I just want to bring something out. Now, Esav and Yaakov and Yitzchak got along well. Sure enough, Esav said, give me that food. See, there's a lot of food going on over here. I just want to say one simple shot. That the shal is Esav and Yitzchak was, both soda, whatever it is. The shal is how you're going to eat. That's the shal. When you're halitein, what Chazal say? He opened his mouth like a camel. You know that a camel, it says in Shabbos, Gemara in Shabbos says that when you carry, you're not allowed to carry kamolei fi, a camel food. Then there's a cow food, straw. How much you have to carry? You have to have a chivas in order to be chayav achatos. Carry in Rosh Hashanah. So the thing that needs the biggest measure is the camel. The camel needs the biggest measure. You know that a cow is not like a camel. It's a mafurish gemara. A cow has his straw, a mouthful, a cowful's mouth of straw, and then there's a camel's full. A camel's full is bigger than Azay I'm off in the Gemara. You'll learn the Gemara in Shabbos. So Esav opened his mouth like a camel. Azay Chazal. So the shal is, how are you eating? I think that was the problem. You're not allowed to eat. You can't enjoy life. What's going on here? I just had some Jack. He's great. Rabbi say, give me the Jack Daniels. We just empty out. This is for all those who taina. Another one. Oh, there we go. All those who complain that I'm not Dairish, Veina, nor Mekayim. I have 2 empty Jack Daniels. So there. Don't say about my Olam doesn't drink. We do drink. We drink. Look at this. Empty bottles. That's some nachas. My shver used to come in. My shver was in Kachet. Who said he was Amolig Yidin? Were they sweet? He came in. What's my favorite show? He came in. My shver and he used to say, my shver said, Wie du a bissel Maschke, a bissel Wahn? Wie kann sein a jüdische Stieb und Wahn und Maschke middle of the week? Where's the schnapps? What's going on here? A Jewish house without schnapps? You guys okay? Come on. He says, he mentioned, Rabbi Miller mentioned this. Rabbi said, Chamra v'rechne pakchen. Wine and smelling good stuff made me sharp. When his mother saw a little Ravala was sitting and he's trying to learn a Taisvis, and he can't figure it out, don't ask me questions. What's he learning Taisvis? I'm just trying to make it alive. He gets it. Ravala, can I give you some schnapps, some wine? That's the way you raise kids. Anyway, we kids you're supposed to be happy. That's whatever works. You're supposed to be happy. But wine krantz, to be happy before Purim, you didn't drink wine. You spent 3 hours with Chavis of office. Then you're happy. Oh, this is lovely. Anyway, so We have to talk now about the parshas. I'll tell you the one Nikuda in this parsha that's not shaykh. Vayar Hashem kisnua leah vayiftach es rachma. What opened up the doors of it that brought the whole Klal Yisrael? Kisnua leah. Zok the Altav and Kelm. Not because she davened, not because she was a tzadekis, because she was a snua. Did you hear that? It pays to be a nebuch. It pays to be the guy in back that feels, I'm not really part of the olam. It pays to be the guy in the chabur that feels, they're all fapak me, or in the house, and all the siblings are, and I'm nebuch. It pays. That's the reason she was zeichet everything. Do you know that the Alta von Slobodkin never kicked out of Talmud? And they say the reason is because he held Yevakish Hashemas on Nirdov. I don't want to be a Raidif and he'll be a Nirdov. I'm in trouble with the Yebishter. You know who he had by him in Slobodka? He had people rebel. He had Amolaga Apakursim. He had the real deal. You know, they say a story with him and, what's his name? There's a Meister of Rudiment. A world famous, he talked the Oizgevoxen, one of the top conservative rabbis. From Tzaddik Adar, unquote. And and they knew right away where he was heading. And he was learning in Slobodka. And he was a roommate to Rav Ruderman. Now, the way I heard the story, Rav Ruderman met somebody years later, and he said, from Slobodka, where he was already Rosh Yeshiva in Baltimore. And this fellow said, remember, how are you? We used to schmooze a lot. Yeah, we schmooze a lot every night. Yes. Now I'm going to tell you a secret. Tells Rav Ruderman. You know why we schmooze a lot? The Alta paid me money to do that. What? To schmooze with you. Why? Because you had a roommate. A Trefa Nebain, they called it. A conservative guy. And they all knew where he was heading. And he was your roommate. And the Alta didn't want you two to schmooze around. So he made sure you came in late to go to sleep. So he paid me money to schmooze with you. Isn't that brilliant? Now, I heard he didn't want to be Mavayish, that bum. You hear this? He could have told the guy, you're not one of us. He didn't kick out a Talmud, the Alta. That's what they say. They once, Yevakish Hashem es ha-nirdaf. Yevakish Hashem es ha-nirdaf. Zong Chazal, Afilu tzadik roidif rasha. Yevakish Hashem es ha-nirdaf. So all the Nebuchals start dancing. All the guys that feel I'm a snua. I'm the guy that they're all making fun of. I'm the guy that's too quiet and too shy and too this and not making it. By the way, it's baloney. They're all jealous of you. No, but it's not true. I know I'm no good. Yeah, I know. I had 2 calls today. 2 phone calls of 2 people. I just couldn't figure out what is your problem. People, one phone call and one in person. I mean, I can't imagine how it's a horror to pull you down. It's so strong. You won't. This fellow is mamish. He learns, and he's a Matsuyan, and he has money. He has a beautiful family. He has shalom bayis. But he doesn't know any money. He has what he needs, and he's going with sugar. Whatever reason, I'm not getting into it. But it's not. People don't appreciate what's happening. They don't shop it. Hey, you have nice, normal, happy kids. You're not involved in that, I see. Oh, yeah, that's true. But let's get to the point. Oh, wait a minute. Let's get to the point. I just don't understand. People focus on what's wrong. You know, you're a good-looking guy. You're a geschmacky guy. Yeah, okay, don't bother me. Let's get to the point. I'm having trouble now. You know, you're healthy and you don't have no hospital. All right. Don't stop with this from stuff, Rabbi Miller stuff, you know. You don't shop. You're not in reality. You're so busy worrying about panusa, what? How about breathing? It's not an Indian in your life. Stop. Yeah, okay, leave me alone. Stop. It's too frum. It's too frum. But I can't. And this guy doesn't like me. Now that's the end of the world. You know what they told me in Novandic? If you're working with somebody, he doesn't like you, or there's some friction, he is more involved in the friction with you than he has 1,000 kids in his school. But he's a principal, and that friction is on his mind by far more than anything else going on in his life. The Welt liegt in Kurve, liegt in problems. Got an issue. We got to take care of that issue, the issue. You want to take care of the issue? Talk all day about what's not an issue. And it'll spill over. How happy I am that I'm alive, that I'm well. So they say, B'Shem Rav Shach, the reason why there's a tzaddik v'raloi, because people don't thank Hashem 1 billion times a day. This guy was nifshel in something, and he comes running to me. I says, why don't you thank Hashem you didn't do worse? You know what people are doing? Yeah, but I'm already... No. Thank Hashem you didn't do worse. There's much worse stuff than you. And all day long, thank Hashem, not once, Yitzhak. Thank Hashem you could have been hey, was macht ihr? Thank Hashem that you didn't do worse. Then it's not interesting. Anyway, kip da rein, bo b'hamayneichem. Now, my latest mifus. What's the latest mifus? Somebody came over to me. Rabbi Say, I'm telling you, someone came over to me. Hashem Yerachel. He has an addiction that you don't want to hear about. A real horrific something that I can't describe what you hand him, the poor guy's in. I can't help it. I'm addicted. It's going on for who knows how long. It's addicted. And he's going out of his mind. I told him, my friend, first of all, you hit the right address. I don't believe in addictions. I'm not impressed. You know, the guy's dead before he opens his mouth because the stempel addiction kills him on the spot. He saw him, his spilus kills everybody. It's addictive. Yeah. I can't shake it off. No matter how I tried, it just doesn't go. I can't. It's addictive. That's it. Once you got your stempel, it's over. And the more you stempel yourself, the worse it gets. And the more you believe you can't cure it, the more you can't cure it. But when you get in touch with Mendel, tzaddik, I didn't mean to say it, tzaddik. Mendel, I did mean. Why not? So, I told the guy, listen to me. First of all, I'm not gayris addictions. It's baloney. It's just, but you know how I feel? And I get worked up. And I go, yeah. I know all about it. Baloney. You're going to do the following. You're going to daven day and night. Able to get that out of me. You know, within a week, it was half the whole, the load of was already halfway gone. It was a total new picture. And he kept davening. We did different things with Gedarim and Zachem. The guy's a new person today. A new person. Now listen to this one. Because I don't hold from addictions. That's where it comes from. I don't hold from Bai Shmola. I just met one of my first Bai Shmola clients. Clients, how do you like that? I was learning how to say it right. One of my clients. I met him today. A bacha. He's sitting and learning Basma, the sweetest could be. And I've mentioned this many times. You know how many more I have like this? But he's around. I'm always seeing him. So it's not normal. I'm amazed myself. Now, those days, I didn't really believe what I was saying. When I say Bishmola, what do you mean? Bipolar is bipolar. It's incurable. Ask any doctor. You got to have... He's finished. The guy did not get up. He was a basket case, like they say, He wasn't, when I met him, he used to smoke and shake. Rabbi Mendel, this is what he was all about. Yes, will I be all right? Yeah, you'll be all right. He scared me. I didn't want to invite him to my house for Shabbos. He was a scary guy. He smelled from his smoking. He took other stuff also, whatever he did with his life. He was a wreck. He didn't get up. He didn't go to sleep. He slept all day. He didn't learn. He didn't work. 0 minus. I says, you're calling me every other day for 2 minutes. That's my tolerance level. I'm joking. That's all. It's that easy. He called me every day. I tell him every time, you're 100 times better. And you're a great guy. I tell him my stuff. He told me today, he says, I didn't feel instant, but afterwards I started feeling it. Probably that's because when I'm finished with him, I try to daven also. I don't know, whatever happened. I did this for 1 year. The end of the year, he was feeling better all the time, but one day, he used to put into his head. He walked into the base medrash. It was dark. And there's nobody there. And he cried for half an hour. He walked out of there, he is cured. I've seen him a lot lately. He is calm. Miyushiv. He's not Rabbi Mendel. He's cool. I shouldn't say that Lashon for B'nai Torah. He's gewaldig. And he sits and learns Bas Mother. And he's normal. It's a pleasure. Imagine. Because I didn't believe in bipolar. He said I had bipolar. And today it's gone. There's ice bipolar. Did you hear that? Ice bipolar. I once had an ice OCD. A friend of mine's sister had OCD. OCD. You know what she used to do, this lady? She used to, if the child stepped on some food, she used to use steel wool on her kids in the morning before they went to school. She was really, it was Rahmanis. She was OCD like that. So I used to meet the guy, and I said, say goodbye to that OC Shmi. I don't believe in that shtussim. She's fine. Every time now the whole family thought I was off the wall. All her brothers, I'm friendly with her brothers. One of them, Melikud. After a year, every time I bump into them, it's getting better. I paskin. You know my shtick? A year later, 80% gone. Ice OCD. Because I don't believe in the shtussim. I don't believe in the machli. Yes, the machli. It's all in the cup. Reb Gershon Lieberman was once in the hospital, and his heart was beating 200 times a minute instead of 100. And the doctor told him, you're finished. There are 4 doctors there. It was either 3 or 4, but 4 sounds better. Let's make it 4. 4 doctors said, Hashem Yirachem, and Rabbi Yosef says, no, what's going on here? He has this gabbai. The gabbai told me the story. No, why aren't we getting out of this place? He didn't feel so good. No, he had he was coughing, I don't know what. Pneumonia, something with him. No. So he said, Rabbeinu, the story goes that 2 of his big chassidim called him up. They were an hour each on the telephone. Reb Chaim Halper, and they say he was on for a phone because he wanted to get me out of this crazy place, a hospital. It's not the gay, but you need medical, you need care, health care. You have to take care of you. Let's get out of here. He got out. So they didn't want to so he was on the phone with him. I heard Rav Rutnam, his 2 biggest Yad Yaminos. They were on the phone an hour each, begging him to stay in the hospital. And he's listening. Ken, he was very edelkeit. Ken, Tadaba, Ken. Yes, of course. He's edelkeit. Was he peaches? The way he's talked with such warmth. But he was fire. He was warm and soft like butter. At the same time, he was fire. Say amen, boy. Anyway, Malach Hashem Tzvakos. Anyway, and he hung up. But then he turns to the Gabbai. The Gabbai told this to me. No. let's get out of here. He said, no, you have to sign, someone got to sign to do this. This is like, I don't take responsibility. Doctors are going, I will not take responsibility. If he lives on earth, nobody wants to take responsibility. He says, oh, you don't want to take responsibility. That's so nice. Go sign. Then he's kicked up, and take responsibility. You got to watch. This is a big achayis. You know what's going on this minute. He went home. The story goes that the next day, this the Gabi didn't tell me, but I heard another nusach. The next day they got a doctor into a house call, a from doctor who's friendly with Yeshiva Light. And he checked them out. He was perfect. But the way the Gabi told me, he lived happily ever after. He just wasn't curious. I feel good. Don't tell me how I feel. They just found something. Yeah. If I feel good, I'm fine. I had this experience myself. I went to a doctor. I had something that was very, very, very serious and very permanent. There's no cure for what I had. And I was told by one after another, no, it's over. So I asked the biggest doctor in New Jersey, a very tired guy, from a guy grad. He's the biggest in that line. And I says, Doc, now you shouldn't keep away, I would say, but I'm a little bit chutzpahdik with doctors. I'm not so in awe of the doctor. I'm not so with that stuff. I'm respectful. What's wrong with that? In fact, I have compassion for most of them. They need parnasa. That's why he's busy killing everybody. I'm sorry, how many people I told that I was right? You know why they had diagnosed you? They need parnasa. They spent so many years to deal with this problem, so they need that problem. It's part of their life. Anyway, there's a lot of elach doctors. Okay, anyway. You know that the third biggest killer in the United States is doctors' mistakes. You know that. The third biggest killer. If the heart disease comes, doctors, hundreds of thousands of people are dead today because of doctors' mistakes. I saw it from a magazine. And you know the famous story in Eretz Yisrael when the doctors made a shvita, they went on strike. For 2 weeks, there was a 30% decline in deaths. They didn't want them dead. They didn't want, we don't need you back. We're doing fine. It's crazy. Why do they go to doctors? The people go, they'll say, Shemaim, it's a mitzvah. I'm not arguing. I'm not going to start. But don't jump after that mitzvah. Even if you hold like the Chavis, you have to go. Don't run after that. Anyway, sometimes you have to know every case is different, every person is different, every match is different. Just want to be married to something, not to get too stressed out about all these things. Now, listen to this. Speaking about doctors, I have a younger man comes over to me. I have a few younger like. What? I just told the story. Oh, I asked him. You see, I forgot. So another guy would say, uh-oh, I'm that age and I'm forgetting. Let's see a doctor. If you know the way I was when I was a kid, this is good. When I was a kid, I forgot 10 times a day. Now it's getting better. It gets better with age. I only forget so-so. Rabbi say, you don't want to get old? It's all in your head. It's all in your head. Age is all in your head. Ralph from the Novantic said, if not for my white beard, I wouldn't know I was old. It's in your head. Now I'm older. I can't do that anymore. Yes. Now, and you're not supposed to be able to see, so go, oh, that's right. So, Taka don't see. And Taka, soon we have to do this, and soon, and it's Taka. It's all in your head. If you could brainwash yourself that you're working the other direction, I promise you'll get younger every day. Look at me. I have a different problem because I deal with 9-year-olds for 40 years. So I never really, mature is not in my dictionary. I'm not into the sugi of being mature. Mature, what does that mean? Who wants to be mature? You want to be like these adults that when it snows, they're all kvetching? I want to be a kid. When it snows, let's have fun. I want to be a kid. It's much more fun. Anyway, So, where am I up to? Anyway, so he called me. I says, Doc, and I speak with a tkifus with them. I mean, I could be polite, but I know that I have plenty over them. I have plenty over them. You're not going to teach me. Shame. Because I am a... Yes? Do you know how many people I was there to cure? You know how much Rabbi Golombic cured one after another in Corona? You want to have a refuah shlema in Corona? Come up. Come to me. I'll prove to you don't have nothing. Even if you had something, it'll disappear. The power of your mind, of suggestion. Rang it in the cup, you have nothing. Hey, you know, I feel better. Even if you're deathly ill. You know how many dead people he resurrected? What do you call that? You know how many people I did? Yeah, I'm serious. It happens every day. Another guy back in normal. He's come out tight. He was saying Vida. You know how many Vida cases? I told you the last week's Vida case. What? Oh, you know that story? You heard that? You heard the Vida story? One of my chaver, he comes here. This is one of my chaver who comes only once in 3 months. Stells the fall, the other guys, the Madrega. He comes once and he does. He's a great guy. So he told me a story. His uncle, his Zayda was deathly ill. And the doctors were told, so his uncle took him for an hour and a half ride to the hospital. And he took along with him a whole batch of vidois, all kinds of it. Now he tied his 50. I don't know if there's 50, but he said a lot of, because his uncle is a big Ben Torah. He finished Shas come upon him. He's a real ernst person. And he said, you know, you got to do tshuva, and you got to say vidui. So he has a whole bunch of vidois over there. So, you know, before you enter belt, you got to do it right. And he said, and he looks at his uncle, he says, what are you doing? He says, what do you mean? You have to, this is an ernst zach. Somebody's holding by, he's Nebuch, that's the Zaidi is Nebuch, that's the man. What Zaidi Nebuch? He's 80 years old. What Nebuch? Do you ever hear of Afilu Cherev Chada Menach Zat Savari? You say Ashasman and Arachman, you don't believe in that stuff? Yeah, but you have to be realistic. Realistic. You have to be realistic. Hey, no, Movade, that's my realistic. Don't you chop that? You speak about it, try him 10 times. Every day you're full of your shikah would say you look at your tzitzis, you say it every day, and every time you make kiddush, and you have Pesach and Asukah, even Rosh Hashanah zeh Mitzrayim. It's all over the place. Dam tzvadeim kidam zayim means kriyas yamsiv. A yiddish shikah with that stuff. That's our whole existence is nisim. That's where take that cup. You're not realistic. No, realistic is we have nisim. I think Rav Nosson once said no nisim. Only that's what we're all about. Anyway, so he didn't tell me, he doesn't remember. He just told me, Mendel, I gave him all your stuff. And he spent an hour and a half brainwashing his uncle. His uncle turned around his whole mahalach, and he went home to grandfather, and he started speaking this type of stuff. His grandfather's walking around today. How do you like that one? Hatzolas Nefash is right there. So anyway, this doctor told me that with your mind you could cure. With your mind you could cure. I said, could you tell me the truth? Does it work better than all your pills? There's no question about it. The doctor did a job on me. I heard that a month later I was cured. I had a horrible. I kept telling myself all day, cut it out. You like attention. I know the real reason why you want to be sick. I know you want to run away from the world. Yeah, that's you. I know you. I told this to myself all day long. Cut it out. You're pain. Now, when you say that, your body listens. And it's poiled. Now, let's say it's real. It was real. All the testimonies and Matthias. I had that famous thing. And it's gone. There's no zecher of it. Took me a month. People told me you look 20 years older. I looked terrible. B'shas ma'aseh. I was stressed out like crazy. Anyway, so I will mention something to you. Somebody told me you look terrible. And he wanted to show me how much he felt for me. Rabbi Billah once said, You don't go to a kala and tell her, you look horrible tonight. You got to watch what you're saying. You don't tell a guy who's sick, you look terrible. It kills the guy. He gets worse. You know that? I never do that. The Elam knows my secrets. I don't ever say that to anybody. You're making them worse. You want to show your status, how you feel for the guy. Oh, you look terrible. I want to tell you something. That there are people out there. There are people. Lately, I met a few of them. It's not for me. I saw who I'm talking to. There are people that have no interest in getting out of their mud. They want you to validate. That's what they call it, validate. I know how to do that, by the way. I have it side to me. It's not good for me, but I do it. I start crying with the guy. You know how much I feel for you? I appreciate that. You should know that. Big people help from these things. Sometimes you have to tell an amuna thing like that. Sometimes it's kedai. Don't start telling her it'll be all right. She don't want to hear that. Tell her the pain is so great that we really feel for you. Sometimes you have to be careful. People are different. But I don't work with that. I'm not into that sugya. Because I want to turn it around. You keep talking positive stuff. I'll watch it happen. Anyway, we're talking about so you should know that in Slobodka, they had a Pakursim floating around. And the Alter didn't want to kick him out because he was afraid of Yivaka Shemas Anirdav. And a Nirdaf has to feel, now, let's say you're not a Nirdaf, but you think you are. And I will tell you, that the Chazon Ish says, you want to be a Baal Musa, it's very nice to be a Baal Musa, but you better know halachas, because you might mix up who's the Raidaf and who's the Nirdaf. You think you're the Nirdaf, you might be the Raidaf, according to halachas. You know halachas. A lot of people look at themselves as the Nebuch. Whenever people speak to me, I didn't hear the other guy. The guy's kvetching about his wife, what a nasty witch she is. I mean, of course, I'm with him, but I didn't speak to his wife. Who knows what's really happening? The kids in my class, they're always kvetching about the siblings are shepherding them. And I say, boys, could it be that you might be a little wrong also? Yeah, I didn't think of that. Could be, you should know, when people come to me with Shalom Bayis, the tzara of Shalom Bayis is that I heard they say, what's his name? Russell over here, he was a big psychologist. Matasio used to send people to him. He said it doesn't matter who you marry. It matters who you are. You're a certain type of person, you'll be fine. If you're a certain type that's looking for trouble, before you, that's you. Or you had it. No, he was perfect until he married. Then he got messed up because he married this witch over there. She messed him up. Now, in Novhardok, they don't know what you're talking about. What messed him up? You had it in you, a certain midah of kas. She's helping you bring it out to Lamaisa. But marriage is nothing but work on your own midas. She's bringing out. You can be civil-minded. This fellow asked me today, recently, he said, my wife yells at me all the time. I'm having a lot of that lately. A lot of guys. But one after another, my wife. So I tell them, first of all, I hope, ladies, please don't listen to this. I tell them, all those ladies are crazy. What should you do with them? All some in collars. I hope there are no ladies listening to this one. So, ladies, what can you never do? We all suffer from the women. Obviously, I'm out of business. I just lost half my customers. But don't worry, when ladies come to me, I have a different nusach. I want to speak that the guy loves it when I make fun of ladies. This guy, he loves it. Yeah, you're right, Rabbi Mendel. They're all, yeah. Right. See, I understand you. They were all take the Mishigayim. What does she know? Anyway. But this guy has, I told this to him. Now, here it goes. You ready? She abuses me and she yells at me and she tells me what to do. I says, you're not alone. There's a lot of, that's her job. Why don't you do this? I'm not going to say his name. His picture is not showing. I'm not going to say his name. A friend of mine was in his house, Erev Shabbos, and he saw his wife, a Godel Yisrael Mamish, from the biggest giants in Klal Yisrael. It's Erev Shabbos, and he's learning. That was him, and his wife tells him, "Yankel, take out the garbage, Yankel. Soon. Don't give me this soon." You say that all the time. He was sitting there watching the action, watching his rebbitzin with him. I myself saw a God will be Yisrael. I saw it in my own eyes. His wife let him have it. And he was like, he didn't get excited. Yes. So what? He felt she was right. You're right. She was born. She let him. She lashed. She was good. She knew how to give her. She was vocal. She let him. Put him in his place, but good. But he didn't respond. I told this young man, you ready? Do I have to be a shmata, he said? I says, yes. You have to be a shmata. What? What happened to all your self-esteem, Mendel? All the self-esteem business. Your self-esteem, as soon as you turn away from your wife, you meet the world, you'll start with your self-esteem business. But when your wife's busy screaming at you, you're going to turn into a rag. And you're going to look to be a shmata. Should be a schus for a boizer. He told me this. Yes, I am a shmata. I once saw his wife ordering him around. Tzaddik gemura. She have a gezunt 11 and a nevasam shana. And she's a real Novandiga too. But anyway, I saw him pulling the table. What's that? Yes, I am a shmata. What's wrong? You'll steigen another. You'll become another savlin. I once saw Reb Nosson. Reb Nosson, boy, was that beautiful. His wife, she let him have it a little bit in front of me. And I don't want to go into details, but he wanted to go to Shabbat Brachos. This is back in Williamsburg, way back. He wanted to go, and she let him have it. And no, you're not going, whatever. And he looks at me like sheepish look, and he said, no, I dappen folgen. You hear that? You got to listen. This is not good for the ladies to hear. Ladies, please don't take me too serious, because the men I'm gonna have trouble with them now. I can't play both games over here. But that's what he said. Avoid dappen folgen. But he told me once, but when you have to do what you really have to do, he used to take trips to Eretz Yisrael on spur of the moment. He did, when something important came, no ladies told him what to do. When somebody wants to finish shots, whatever it is, it's things that he knows. You know what he once told me about dealing with a woman? When the shaila is who's talking. She also has a Yetzirah, believe it or not. She might tell you something. Who is talking? Find out what's the real. Sometimes you got to listen, sometimes not. You got to know. It says, your Salanta said, as I'll say, comes to Ruchni Istachen, you don't listen to your wife. Comes to Gashmias, you listen to her. So I heard that his wife said, he was Mekayim Dai Chazal, Rav Salanta. The only problem was, she never found anything that wasn't Ruchnias. It's all Ruchnias. Anyway, so let's get back. Okay, now, the Nabachol is I heard a vot from Rav Shach, Shem Rav Shach. Rav Shach held from this vot, Oilam Amloyim. When Vayishlach Yaakov Malachim, Aleiso. So it says he sent the Bnei Ashfachas first. Why did he send them first? You don't like them because the Bnei Ashfachas, is that right? doesn't make sense. But a Rachel will last. What's going on here? You know what he said? He said, because you want to win a war with Esau? Said they put them in the front line. The Tzabrach and the Shvatim, the one B'nai Ashfachis, they're the winners around here. Rav Shach said that, but, and he held from it Olam HaMaloya. He held his Emes Lamita. You know about this. Now, I had my own thought before I heard this from saying Rav Shach. You know what? They took the Aron Kodesh. They took the, when they went to battle with the Aron Kodesh, they used to win the wars because the Aron Kodesh was with them. Now, there were two luchos. There's a luchos from the Egel, and the luchos which had to be broken, and there's a normal luchos. Guess which luchos came along in battle, and which luchos stayed home. The whole ones, you can stay home. We want the broken ones. After the Egel, such a terrible mindset. Yeah. Such a terrible mindset. They are coming with us in battle. The broken luchos, if there's such an aveira with the Egel, the broken Talmud Chacham, the broken, he's going to win the war. How do you like that, Rabbi Say? The only problem is, so all those broken people should be happy that they're broken, and you could be brokenly happy for the rest of your life. We're all broken. All those depressed people. I tell people all the time, what's wrong with having anxiety? So I'm anxious. People tell me, so have anxiety. By the way, I make a chayzik out of that. If you make a chayzik out of it, it'll disappear. People are impressed. I have anxiety. I'm this. Who says? You wonder you daven one day, ice anxiety. You can do it. You don't know the power of tefillah. You daven out. You're gyrus it too much. You're too nispo from it. You hold anxiety. The world's turning over. Whoever can take a lot of B'tachon weeklies, take the more the better. Anyway. So, now I was talking about Yisurim, that people have Yisurim. Now the problem is, I spoke to somebody on the phone who said, Mendel, I am a tough nut. Me, you're never going to. What's the problem? This person has a certain physical problem, does not want to get married. I started calming him down. No, I don't want to be calmed down. See, you don't chop how bad off I am. I want to be in the mud. And by the way, I've come across this. There are certain addictions that Hashem Yirachem, and I want to talk about it, that the main real problem is the guy who really doesn't want to leave it. He's got certain typhus that he wants to keep deep down. So you can't really cure him because he likes it too much. I heard this in Novehardok about COVID. Some people, I want to run after COVID. COVID's a plan. They enjoy their COVID, so they're stuck with it. Go be afraid of COVID. Anyway, so this guy was mamish. And this person never was going to Gehenna. Just today, this person told me, you want to come to my Levi? You know, this is a real my Levi. You know, this person's half my age. My Levi, less than half. You know how old I am? Anyway, so Kitza, you're talking to the wall. There's some people. So first they started crying with him. He liked that. Crying with him. So you like that? Yes. Someone cares. I really care. It's Rahman, people. You have to. But anyway, besides, I hit the spot. I said, you know, somebody, when I came to Novehardok, and I spoke about my issues, they were very happy. I said, what are you happy about? I said, we were afraid. You look like you don't have any issues. And it says that if somebody has 40 days without Yisurim, Kibel Esay, say goodbye to Elam Abba. No Peklach, no Elam Abba. How's that? I'll show you a sefer right here. I forgot which one. Kol HaMeduka B'Yisurim, Zaycha V'Raya Elam Abba. There you go. Got Yisurim, you get your Elam Abba. Famous story with the guy. What do you say about his wife? The greatest thing, his mother. Greatest thing about my mother is 20 years of being an almana. A bracha. You have Yisurim. Kum Tarayin. Now, I want to tell you that Yisurim, Chaviv and Yisurim. It depends how you take it. If people learn Musa, they say, what's wrong with Yisurim? So have Yisurim. So have Peklach. But everyone else has better. I have Peklach. More Peklach, the better. I mean, don't look for it. You know that before you're born, it's a Kadakemach, I believe. You have chosen your Peklach. You want them. You know what Rabbi Yisrael Yaakov. So you picked it. In the next world, this world, nobody wants to be a Nebuch. Up there, Hashem, could you please make me a good Nebuch? They see the Ashirim. So Yaakov Lubchansky, the Alta from the Novan's son-in-law, he once mentioned, how come there's so few rich people in this world? So because when people in the Neshamas die, you are exposed. You see them coming up to the next world, and you see the faces of the rich people. And you say, Eibishter, don't make me that. Do you know what an Asayin? By the way, an Asayin Oisha. Oisha does not only mean the guy who makes it, everything goes smooth. So don't look for trouble. But everybody thinks there's a Chavetz Chaim's Maisa that he saw that somebody was nifta, and he comes to the next world, and he sees all his mitzvahs, and he sees all the mitzvahs look like grayish white malachim. They all look like they've been on a diet forever, and with crutches and with casts. They don't end that. Maybe he thought he was a tzaddik, and look what you got. Those are your mitzvahs. Then you see the Averis, big, robust, black, shiny malachim, strong, millions of them. And they tell him, okay, that's your life, my friend. These are your mitzvahs, these are your Averis. You see the hot Gehenna? Get ready. You want to have it. So he's going with sugar. Suddenly, from nowhere, comes the most gorgeous looking malachim in the universe. White, strong, bigger and better than billions and billions without end. And they come smiling to him and says, don't be afraid, we'll take care of you. You no problems. He asks them, who are you? So they say, I don't recognize you, and I didn't do these type of mitzvahs. I said, they tell him, we are the Yisurim that you went through. Yisurim! Be a Nebuchadnezzar. What's so terrible? Yisurim! A Nebuchadnezzar means Yisurim. You're a forgetful guy. Yisurim! Always making mistakes. Yisurim! Always getting stressed with people, not comfortable with people. Yisurim! Delicious! I have a twitch. Yisurim! The guy stutters, whatever. Yisurim! A guy like you, Olam is yours. Everything, your wife yelling at you all day, Yisurim! In the Vada, they always say, wife yelling at you, that's a bracha. Now you can stay. Now you're worth something. This guy came to the Vada and complained about his wife. They didn't know what he's talking about. Now you can stay. I told you this fellow in Moshav in Eretz Yisrael, Bethel, it's a famous place. This guy's probably not here many years already, a European Jew. He had a wife who was a first-class machshefa. His wife was l'chol hadeis, l'chol ha'mefarshim. She, boom, a witch. On all accounts, she had it. She was a very, looked terrible and nasty. She looked like, if she ever in her life understood the concept of smiling, it's not happening, not with her. He used to come home every night, and she used to curse him to the ground. And I was there, and she let him have it. She had a squeaky voice, as an alta Polish Yidina. She knew how to boom, 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 put him in his place. And he used to come in boots. He was a from farmer, and he had a happy face. You look at the happiest guy. He was happily married, by the way. He was happily married. What's wrong? That's her big spiel. You know, they used to say in the hymn, Kach b'nois tzolafcha doivreis. That's the way they talk. So it's fine. It's fine. It's all your attitude. She's a nice lady. And I remember she used to curse him, and he used to bless her. And I remember one thing he always said, the Leben is Mashiachin. He used to laugh at her face. the more she cursed, the more he laughed. You're like, I used to roll. He was the happiest guy you ever met. I met his son. I was on a bus with Baron Feldman, and his son was a Chassidish guy. We were so impressed by the son. The son was a well-adjusted, happy person. Beautiful home, you realize. He saw firsthand the way a father could scream at a mother like, the mother screams at him and he couldn't care less. So a guy like, that's a chinuch. That's a chinuch. So this guy is also probably at that point, don't take life serious, you're Meshuggah, You let her scream, what's a shlach? You know what they do in America? They take, you need a lot of therapy. Straighten her out. Nobody does not believe. Don't straighten out nobody. I'm the only guy to straighten out. You want to be a happy person? Look, David HaMelech said, "B'chatasi Kenegdi Summit." He was one of the happiest people that ever crossed the planet Earth. You know that. David HaMelech is not shy. He was Batcha de Malka. The Zohar says he used to make jokes for he used to cheer up the Abish to Kaviyachim. Figure that one out. It's whatever it means. Don't worry about his level of simcha. Mizvah David Tiller, what are you talking? David HaMelech, there's no one like him in the universe. Anyway, he used to dance and he said, "V'chatasi Kenegdi Summit." I hold. So how do you be happy with that? All day long he's thinking of an avera. I don't know the pshat, but I'll tell you one thing. If a person sees I'm wrong, it makes you happy. That Avradiyas were crazy happy because they never fell in with a bitch. What are you talking? I have a caste problem, and let me get rid of it. If your health is in your hands. If you decide you cheer yourself up, you're cured. You know that? You're happy, marriage, happy, you're not happy. You drink that cup. If I'm happy, I'm happily married. Who cares what she says and does? I'm independent. Like this other people watching, she said something bad. That wasn't nice. I didn't like it. We're not happy. We need to be therapy. We have to work this out. This is going to take extensive. We have to go back when she was a child, her parents. That's why she got messed up. And I had this and she had that. And go sit there forever. try to figure out, make life complicated. Make it good. That's what they do instead of taisvis. You're supposed to horror it in figuring out a taisvis. And they're harving, and then if you're really bad news, you watch the way someone else his wife, is this, yeah. Then you got to hear what you never spoke to the other guy about his wife. He's not going to tell you what's really happening. You should know. There's different types of people. It's a package. There are ladies that scream their heads off at you all day, but they work and they help. So let her scream. I'm a lazy guy. She's perfect for me. Let her scream. But she's doing all the work. It's great. Great deal. Then there's another guy. I know somebody, he got married to was she an Edelkeit, a Tzaddikus, but she's a weak person. From the day he got married, he was busy sweeping the floors. He was busy, he had to get a maid. He didn't have an easy life. It's a package. It's a package. It's up to you. You could look at the good. You could look at the bad. I told you it happened. A friend of mine, he told me, this is days. I heard it. The guy it happened to. His father and his mother used to kill each other. Yom v'layla. V'gisa b'yom v'layla. They were lebedik. Bekitza, they were killing each other all day long. Finally, his father was nifta. As soon as his father was nifta, he went over to his mother. He says, "Ma, I felt so sorry for you. Now you could remarry, you could be a mensch, you could live like a mensch. This wasn't a shit for you." She looks at him, "Vice, how dare you talk like that? My husband was my whole life. I loved him. He was everything." So, see, he laughed. He laughed when he heard it. So, he told me the story, and he laughed when telling it over to me. So I says, "You want to hear the pshat? I don't want to knock his mother. You have to be careful. Should be a schus for we're learning from this." The pshat like this: if you are taught to see bad, you don't chop. It's not what's happening. It's all you. If you're a negative person, then you're going to see bad. It's like a religion. That's the matzah. No, what did she do wrong? How about the good part? We're not into that sugya there. She did this wrong. Now she did that wrong. And I never fell in. Now when she's gone, so you got to continue your shita. So instead of being happy, you're rid of her. So now what's wrong now with my life? I'm never alone. I'm never alone. So you got to go all negative. And the Chovos HaLevavos says just the opposite. You got to go positive. It's you. It's all you. Now, ladies, I would say the ladies should say the same shtick Torah on themselves. You know this breast of Arush. Arush put out 2 books. One on Shalom Bayis, for men only. The other one, for women only. Don't look at the other. You're going to decide, Jenes, the Schlacht, ich bin der Gute. Was macht ihr? Anyway, Rabbi say, you have to be, I told the Bacham, Elter Bacham, I just spoke now recently. I spoke for older singles, you know, they're all depressed. You know what I told them? Chazal say, Medrash Rabbah, Pashas Vayetze, I think it's in there. Medrash Rabbah says, Esav got married at 40. Yaakov got married at 83. So, thanks a lot. Everybody say, take them. Take as much as you can. Take them. He got married. Give him out. So by the way, I was asked to mention this. Can't lose it. I was asked to mention, somebody gave me a number. They need somebody to give out. I lost it as usual. Somebody to help giving out. We just started getting Bטחון weeklies on and Lashon Kodesh, and they need someone to give it out. There's a number. Okay, you can call me. I'll give you my number if you're interested in helping. My number is 732-363-1180. And Bטחון weeklies in New York, Borough Park, Flatbush area. They need someone to spread it out. If you want to help, call me up. I'll give you a number to call and you'll give it out. My number is 732-363-1180. Okay, back to this. Now, it's a big schus, by the way. Don't ask about the schus. Don't ask. You want to ask stories? Spooky stories? You're going to help me out, my Bטחון weeklies? Boy, you're going to have yeshuas in your life. I have stories. I'll tell you one story now. Now you're nervous. I'll finish with the younger light, then I'll tell you the story. With the Bacham. So the Bacham, so it comes out like this. Says Chazal, Tzadikim Tchilos Amar. First you get Yisurim, then things straighten out. First it's bad, then it becomes good. So I said like this. So therefore, those who get married late, like Yaakov did, that's the derech of tzaddikim. And those who get married early, right away, that's the ace of matzav. So all of you guys sitting here, I had a lot of elder bachim sitting there. Remember, don't tell them. But all those happily married guys that you're so envious of, they are, according to that chazal, they're the ace of guys, and you're from the Yaakov guys. So have rachmanas on all those happily married couples. They're never the ace of guys. Now I don't advise married people to take that chazal. I advise them to show that chazal to all the singles. But there's other chazals that are good for you. Every person should take the chazal, but unfortunately the singles are busy with the other chazal that you're supposed to be married. If you're not married, you're dead. Of course you have to try, but you have to take the right chazal. Okay. Now what was the story I wanted to and you're supposed to have rachmanis on the people different. Do you know that? A bacher, the Chovos HaLevavos says it. A bacher has to have rachmanis on younger light. I'm a free bird. He's younger light nebuch. With panasa, with their wives making them crazy. I'm a bacher, do what I want. It's a good life. And a younger man has to say rachmanis on the bacherim. Bacherim nebuch, you're not married. a ganzer refuah, and together with, I want to give, with, what's his name? I want to give her for Shalem Beis Hashem Rabbi Yisai with B'Kolos of Rock. We want to save him. We want Wolfson to have a ganzer refuah, together with Viesta Sorotskin from Springdale. A ganzer Yeshua, all of them. So again, get Lalo Yeshuas and Al Zavang Chasanim. I wanted to say another story. I think I forgot about it. Oh, listen to this one. I get a phone call for the other end of Lakewood. Rabbi Mendel, I must come over. It's very, very important. My wife has to speak to you. I'm coming together with her. You must hear this. This you never heard in your life. Okay? I'm here. I'm coming. I'm waiting for you to come. He comes over. It took him 10 minutes to get here. Okay, came from Yehuppitz to me, because this was not Shaykh. Erev Shabbos Kodesh. His wife is sitting on the couch, and him together, and I'm sitting across. And he tells his wife, go, tell the story. It's Erev Shabbos. Now, Erev Shabbos, going to the mountains, you have to go earlier. You got a shaila and a halacha. If you're allowed to go later, it's usher, in fact. But they went good. But on the road, suddenly, bumper to bumper. And he's a cool guy. He reads Bטחון weekly. He's Gishmak. She doesn't. He's my chassid. She, I don't know her. And he's the one that's... So he's driving, and she is stressed. She's a bundle of nerves. She's going crazy. So he tells her, take as many as you... Okay, he tells her like this. He tells her, why don't you read a Bטחון weekly? The second she took it in her hands, the traffic disappeared on the spot. So after a few minutes, she put it down. The second she put it down, traffic came back. He says, take it again. Oh, yes. He takes it in her hands. Second she takes it in her hands, the traffic disappears. So right away, okay, we're fine. See, it's going good. Puts it down. The second she puts it down, the traffic comes back full force. That has happened back and forth a few times. I heard Bazallah, she said, Rabbi Mendel, if it would not have happened to me, I wouldn't have believed it. It was unbelievable. And altogether, she read about 15 minutes of Bטחון weekly, and she got there way before Shabbos. They lived happily ever after. How do you like it? Bטחון weekly is hot.
The kids in the car.
Says, yeah, give the kids. Have a good Shabbos,